Hello, everybody. Welcome to a new podcast episode of Big Danny. Danny is still here. She's still pregnant.
Still pregnant.
Yeah.
But we're recording this on, what day is it? The 25th of January?
So 10 more days, technically.
So, we'll see.
We'll see when the baby's coming. We'll see when the baby's coming.
Baby.
Just like baby. Yeah. So, we talked about what we want to do today in terms of podcast.
Mm-hmm.
And we just did a podcast about the short films. And so this one kind of ties into that a little bit, at least. I would say. Does it?
I mean, it's in the same genre, yes.
Yeah. Yeah. So we thought we are going to talk about the sensation that is Saltburn. Let's get into that.
Let's do it.
So, Saltburn.
Saltburn. You know, people have been, first of all, let me just say, if you, sorry, still sick. If you have not seen Saltburn and want to see Saltburn,
It's some Prime Video.
don't listen to this podcast until,
I mean,
I'm going to spoil things because I have things to say.
Yeah, that's true. No, it's true.
So I'm just putting it out there now. Listen to this episode after you've watched it.
Yeah.
But anyways, you've been seeing all over social media, I'm assuming, because I have, everybody's talking about Saltburn. And at like award shows, everybody's talking about Saltburn.
I mean, it didn't
all
get
over
any
the place.
recognition, on major.
Yeah, but people are talking about it. Like at what was the last one, the Emmys?
Yeah, no, it's true. And I mean, most of there is a movie once in a while that comes out, and nowadays it's most of the time a streaming movie where the access is super easy.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden there's this almost like going viral on social media where everybody's posting about it, everybody's talking about it, and that's what we are doing right now because we're feeding into we obviously hope we're not too late.
We're taking advantage.
And now I'm thinking, shit, we should have released that one tomorrow and the other one next week, but it's too late for that. There's once in a while there's this phenomena, and everybody's talking about it, and so we watched it. We watched Saltburn.
I was really excited to watch it, I have to say.
But I want to quickly, before we talk about the movie, I want to quickly talk about the writer and director Emerald Fennell. I hope that's how you spell it. Say it. And she did Promising Young Woman 2020, which was a phenomenal movie. It was
great,
I loved that movie. And I think it got even an Oscar nomination. Oh, she actually won an Oscar for that movie. Well deserving. It was a great movie, a great topic. And so obviously the buzz around Saltburn was already like, oh shit, she is doing another movie. And there are a lot of great actors in it. And so we watched it.
Because I had seen so much hype about it, I was actually kind of excited to watch it. I tend to have this thing, I think a lot of people have this, when something is so overly hyped, I have super low expectations. And I like make it almost makes it so I don't want to watch it because I'm just like, I don't want to be part of this. It was like that with Game of Thrones, still never seen it. And I don't know, because my expectations, I should say my expectations are too high then.
Yeah.
And so it's like, I know that I'm going to be disappointed because they're too high. But this one I was actually excited. I mean, I still had high hopes and high expectations, but I was like, a lot of people that I trust and a lot of people that have similar tastes to me are really raving about it. So I was like, okay, maybe it's great.
I don't want to talk about the plot of the movie because I don't honestly give a shit.
I mean, there is no real plot.
Not really. But
things just kind of happen.
What I want to quickly talk about the good things that I really enjoyed, and one of them was the music. And she, like already promising young woman, she chooses a lot of really good songs that complement the scenes and that are, I wouldn't say forgotten, but that at some point were pretty big, but became forgotten, or at least not so known anymore. And the weird thing is that a lot of those songs are songs that you could even say the what is the Zielpublikum? What is the English word? Like the group who is the target group of the movie have never heard that song because it's probably before their time, and the movie's clearly targeted young adults or at least teenagers. And the cinematography, those two things
great.
are
I
amazing.
agree.
The cinematography is fucking stunning. First
it was
of all,
shot beautifully.
The 4:3 aspect ratio was a great choice for the movie, I feel like, and it acts. It's like a character, especially like the castle or where they are most of the time in the movie. Is its own character, and the 4:3 kind of complements the look and the feel of the whole movie, the locations and the characters. So that being said, those are the two aspects I really enjoyed about the movie.
I agree. I have to say I didn't really like the movie otherwise.
And I hated it. I honestly hated the movie.
First of all, I don't know if this was intentional, but I did not like any of the characters. Like, I didn't connect with any of them. I didn't sympathize with any of them. I didn't feel like, that's a good person, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, I think that was intentional because none of them were good people. Yeah. But I feel like they really tried to make you feel, at least at first, feel bad for the main character and feel pity for him, but I never did. Yeah. I just never believed him.
The main problem I had with the main character, Barry Keoghan's character, which he's a fucking phenomenal actor.
The thing is, I feel like they all acted super well. It's not about their acting skills. It's more about the writing of the characters.
Yeah.
It's just not.
He has no real, like, what is the word I'm looking for? Not intention, but his intentions are not clear throughout the whole movie. So he does things based on no clue, no like, oh, I'm this because I do that. There's no hint or even like a believable explanation why he does things.
Yeah, I mean,
which in itself makes him seem super evil. Like, if you look at the whole thing, what he does, and the thing he becomes at the end, he seems like the most evil person that you could think of.
But that leads me to, again, where I said spoilers, but that leads me to kind of like this whole twist, twist, where I felt like the twist that he was doing all of these things and like killing the people and, you know, taking advantage of these people, that quote twist for me was not a twist.
No, it's not a twist.
Because I expected it the whole time. The first time that somebody died, I'm like, I mean, obviously he did it. I mean, it's obvious. It's not even like, whoa.
And the fact that they didn't even point into that direction even made it more like, okay, he did it. Like, there was no side of the police. There was no investigation. There was not even a mentioning of, hey, fuck, this could be a murder case. No, someone died,
and
that's it.
The whole family dynamic, like after the one guy died.
Yeah.
Felix, was that his name?
Yeah,
I don't
remember.
Whatever his name was. I probably just made that name up. After the first guy died, where it's like, the dynamic of the family, I mean, I get what they're trying to do because it's like this very hoity-toity, rich family who needs to put on appearances or, you know, whatever. But they're acting way too normal for the fact that their son, brother, best friend just died.
Yeah.
and just like sitting. And I mean, the tension I feel like was well done in that scene when they're all eating, because there were clear moments where, like, especially with the parents, there were clear moments where it's like they're just trying to like get they're in shock, and they're trying to like have a normal morning somehow in spite of what's happening. So I get what the intention was, of trying to do that, but it didn't work for me.
The Rosamund Pike plays the mom of Felix. And
it is Felix.
She is the, next to Barry Keoghan, she is the best.
She was great
actress and character in the whole movie, and she actually the little screen time she has is the most believable character.
Agreed.
Because she has so little screen time, she didn't need any explanation. She didn't need anything that made her acting a certain way explained.
But she also plays the character in the way that you expect. Like when I was saying before that I didn't connect with or like any of the characters, and I was kind of feeling like that was the intention, but wasn't sure if it was for all of them. For her, it was clearly the intention.
Yeah,
and
totally.
she played it well. So it made it more... I wouldn't say it made her more likable, but it made the character more okay, she's playing this super well, and I know that I'm supposed to not like her.
Yeah.
Whereas with the other characters, I'm like, am I supposed to like them?
Totally. And the thing is, you didn't need to like her. She was not there to be liked. She was a pretentious rich woman. That's it. That's what she played, and she played it super well. And she had some really good scenes in that movie. But
like Felix's character, right? They very clearly tried to make him seem like everybody in the movie, all of the characters love Felix. Yeah. Everybody loves Felix. He's this great guy. Yeah. He's always there for people. He's just like, Felix, it's like everybody loves him. And I'm like, why?
Yeah, there's no...
they didn't give me a reason to like him.
The dynamic between Felix and Barry Keoghan's character... Clearly, there's sexual tension. Clearly, Barry Keoghan is queer, or like bisexual, whatever. Yeah,
queer's fine.
Yeah, and he clearly has some intentions that way, but there's never an acting on it. There's never I like you more than just being friends, whatever. It's always super weird and vague, and then there are those shock moments that a lot of people say, "Oh, this scene is so shocking," and
the bathtub.
It's not.
I mean, that was shocking.
Have you never seen a fucking horror movie or a thriller?
Yeah, but the bathtub scene was actually quite.
It's
disturbing.
Disgusting. I'm sorry, it's disgusting.
It is. It was disturbing.
It's fucking disgusting.
But that's the one scene where I will give to them where I'm like, that's well done, because you feel what they want, the way they want you to feel.
Obviously, sure, but at the same time, it's like it's cheap. It's a fucking cheap. Like, okay, what can we do? And that made me instantly think of "Call Me by Your Name," the Peach scene.
Yeah, but in that scene,
exactly.
In that scene, you still feel like connected with the characters, and you're still like, in "Call Me by Your Name," it's like.
Yeah, because there is already an established relationship.
A little uncomfortable, but you love them so much, and you're like, this is almost sweet. It's weird how they did that.
Right. It's also very disgusting, and the way they shot it made it very disgusting.
Yeah.
But
you still love them so much.
And you love the characters already, and you love the relationship that they have, and you're in it for them, and so you don't give a shit.
Yeah.
But in that movie, it's just it's shocking. Wow, that's it.
Yeah,
and it's just disgusting, and that's all it.
Yeah,
it is, and all the other scenes that come afterwards.
It's just I don't know. There's also the other quote twist that really bothered me. Earlier in the movie, before they had gone to Saltburn, which is the name of the mansion. He was talking to Felix about. His parents, and how his dad was dead, and his mom was like a drug addict or something. Like there was something, so
alcohol,
something like that, and some sort of substance abuser, and so he didn't really have contact with her, and just had this really horrible childhood, and. When he was telling the story, I will say that's the one thing I didn't expect that to not be true, because we didn't really know his character yet.
It didn't make any sense if it was true or not. It made no fucking sense for the movie and for the character.
Well, especially so early on. And so, because you didn't really see any signs of him being like a compulsive liar or, you know, whatever. He clearly wanted Felix to like him, but it didn't seem... That was the one thing where I was like, okay, that actually was surprising to me.
Yeah.
But that's exactly why I was so disappointed, because when Felix brought him then to his parents' house, and then his mom opens the door and she's like this super happy, almost like Midwestern kind of mom.
Yeah.
And then his dad is there and alive and everything's fine. I was like, oh, like I was excited about that moment.
Yeah.
And then it just kind of like fizzled away. Like it wasn't relevant to the story.
It's like the scene in the room where the mother says, "Oh, I definitely got breast cancer,"
and they never talk about it again.
Like, what the fuck was that?
I mean, it did set up the end of the movie, basically, where like Felix all of a sudden was like, oh, I don't like this person anymore. Like it set that up, where Felix's eyes were open to the fact that, okay, this is not somebody that I think I want to associate myself with.
Yeah.
So great, okay, they needed something for that, but I felt like it was so brushed over and it was just so quick.
Yeah.
Like it was, here's like this big moment all of a sudden where you're like, oh, that's fascinating.
Yeah.
And then it was just kind of over.
Yeah. Instantly. And you're like, okay, wow.
It left me wanting more of that.
Yeah, and also what does it say about the character? Nothing besides we already know.
We already knew he was
lying.
Not.
He's for no reason at all. He was lying.
It was so clear by that point that he was using these people.
Right.
At least for me, I felt like obviously he's using these people.
It totally was. And yeah, I just want to read you something.
Okay.
In late 1950s, New York, a young underachiever named Tom Ripley sent to Italy to retrieve Dickie Greenleaf, a rich and spoiled millionaire playboy. But when the errand fails, Ripley takes extreme measures to get into Tom's life. Into Dickie's lifestyle.
Mm-hmm.
That that little plot thing is from the movie. The Talented Mr. Ripley from 1999, and it's essentially the same plot. I'm not saying that so many movies borrow plots and borrow little things here and there. So, but that movie, if you like things like Saltburn, that movie did it so much better, and is in many ways a way more enjoyable movie.
Yeah. I kind of feel like this movie wanted in some way to be like a modern whodunit and just failed miserably.
The movie to me is weird because at the same the aesthetic is clearly borrowed from Call Me by Your Name. Like
absolutely.
The whatever the producer or the director said, hey, look at this movie, that's how we're gonna shoot it.
Yeah.
Besides that it's shot on the English countryside, they wanted clearly the look of Call Me by Your Name. Yeah,
I agree. I instantly got that vibe from that movie.
And from the feel of the movie, it's clearly targeted at like 17, 18 to 20, 21-year-old people.
Agreed.
Like younger people who can connect with, we're hanging out in the pub and drinking, and then we have this massive parties and this massive mansion, and our parents are cool and they're partying with us and all that shit. Fine, all fine to me. But at the moment it all falls apart, it's just, again, the fucking characters and how terribly they are written. Yeah. In a sense that first of all, you don't give a shit about anybody. So
nope.
And technically a lot of people die and you just shrug it off. Like, who the fuck cares? And also, then he fucks the fucking dirt on the grave, and it's just fucking disgusting and weird. It's not like he fucks his dead body. That would be like the more disturbing version of that, but he just fucks the dirt in the grave and it's like, why?
I feel like those scenes would have worked so much better
if there would be a relationship between them.
Not just that, but I actually think it works when there's no relationship, but you have to know at least what he really wants. Like you have to at least know his side of it. Yeah. But I think they would work so much better if we knew the whole time, like if they made it clear the whole time he's up to something.
Yeah.
Because there's like, they clearly wanted that to be the twist. And I feel like that there should have been a different twist.
Yeah,
I feel like
totally.
it would have been much better and much creepier and much more, I don't know, somehow Dahmer-esque. If you
I could think of,
knew ahead of time, this kid is fucked up. Because then everything he does, you already have this tension. Because you know who he is, but you also know that none of the people he's interacting with knows who he is.
If you think of Promising Young Woman, it's not the same movie at all, but the character has a similar intention of hurting people.
Yeah.
And she hurts people because something happened to her, which immediately gives her, first of all, an intention and a believable side, like where okay, I'm first of all, I'm rooting for the character because she got something really bad, like something really bad happened to her, and the people who did that to her deserve it. That's how simple it is. And sure, those people in Saltburn are rich assholes technically, and who don't give a shit about anybody else.
I think it's fine if you don't like the characters. Like,
No,
it would be fine to write them in that way. But again, I feel like you need to know that they don't know something that you know, if that makes any sense. You know, totally. Like it makes it much more fascinating and, I don't know, thrilling to watch if there's not like this hidden thing about it where it's, I don't know. You might feel something for the other characters if you're like, oh fuck, you have no idea what you're in for, but you know the whole time, you know.
And you could have totally, like in Promising Young Woman, turn it around and make it see coming. Like, okay, at some point you see him kill the young kid,
right?
And then all of a sudden, you know, oh fuck, he's going to kill the whole fucking family,
right?
Because he wants
Agreed.
In on that. And it's just, you know, it happens so fast, and then they skip 7 years or something, or a few years,
then I don't know how many, but a few.
He sits there at the laptop and writes something, and he meets the mom again, and then cut forward, and then plot twist, he wasn't writing something, it was all planned, like all that shit. And it's like, first of all, it's dumb writing. It's like you're feeding the watcher, the viewer, everything. Yeah. Like you don't even leave anything up for interpretation, nothing. Yeah. And still, you don't give the main character any believable intention, any believable drive for why he's doing that. Yeah. Like you don't. He has a loving family. You see that they love him. He goes to a fucking massive school, so there is some sort of money. He doesn't come from rich people, but there's some sort of money there. He doesn't seem unhappy in his life. So why? I mean,
it's the thing is, it's that actually is the perfect. That goes back to my whole thing. It's the perfect setup for being a psychopath. It's perfect.
Yes, but I mean, he is.
Yeah, but they should have made it clear earlier instead of trying to make it this big twist, which was so obvious.
But also
the whole
give
time.
him some sort of reason why he's doing it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Maybe just show.
I agree.
Maybe his dad really died, and then it comes out that he worked for the family, and they basically were at fault for him dying or something like that, where he has personal vendetta or personal reason to hate those people.
I think it would be fine for him to just be a psychopath for being a psychopath. I don't see a need necessarily for there needs to be a reason. There needs to be something that happened to him.
Yeah, but you also need to make it believable that he's a psychopath, because that really wasn't believable.
But
there was no reason in the whole movie given that he is like that.
Yeah. The thing is,
some people are evil because
I don't think we need that context, though. I think it just needs to be done differently.
Yeah.
Again, like with just somehow knowing that he's a psychopath before, like that it's made clear, and that's not the twist at the end.
Yeah.
Because it didn't work that way.
To me, the whole movie didn't really work, and I get people who like the movie because they're drawn into aesthetic and the feel of the movie, because the movie feels apart very like and that's a compliment, feels a lot like Call Me By Your Name. And those are the parts I really enjoy it. But at the same time, if I want to watch something like that, then I watch Call Me By Your Name, which is so much better and aesthetically way more pleasing than Saltburn in total. I
mean, I would the only like relation that I would make to Call Me By Your Name is the
aesthetics. The
look of it. But
Yeah.
If you hear a dog running around the room right now, it's because he sees somebody coming and he's very excited.
He's very excited.
And he's probably going to drop his toy
One more
now.
thing I want to mention before we stop is the ending of the movie where Barry Keoghan dances through Saltburn naked.
That's a great scene.
It's a fucking great scene.
I'm really sick of the song on social media now.
But I have to say,
it's a great scene.
This fucking scene is a music video.
That's the best part of the movie.
I'm fucking mad that this is not a music video because
Yeah.
it kind of, I don't know, it feels wasted on that movie, that scene.
Yeah.
I know that sounds very like... And the thing is, it's my personal opinion. It's her personal opinion. If you like the movie, I can see why you like the movie because there's some really good aspects of it.
I mean, we talked about it in the last episode. It's it's art and it's subjective. And if you like it, it doesn't. Just because we don't like it doesn't mean it's a bad movie. It's just we personally don't like it.
What is so interesting to me is that if you read reviews from, like, not critics, obviously, from people who watch the movie, you can see that the consensus is that it's not a great movie.
Yeah.
It has great parts, but a lot of people agree that it's not a great movie. And talented Mr. Ripley did it way better. And I totally agree. It's a great movie. And if you have not seen Talented Mr. Ripley, you should definitely watch it.
I have not seen it.
Really? I felt like we watched it. Matt Damon and Jude Law. A great movie. And a very similar plot. But just way better executed.
Yeah. I just want to disclose I'm very picky when it comes to, I mean, I wouldn't say this is horror, but like anything horror, thriller, psychological thriller, anything like that. I'm very, very picky about it because I have very high standards with those things.
And they're
so
rare to find good ones.
Exactly. And I think if that were like the first of that genre I'd ever seen, I'd probably love it. But the fact that I've seen so many and I know how good it can be, it felt like very lazy writing to me.
No,
it was that again, the acting I thought was great. Everybody did a great job. I don't think there was a bad character in that sense. Although I have to ask, did I just miss this, or what happened to the friend who was staying with him?
The black dude.
Yeah. Just nothing?
I don't remember.
Because he was still there. When Felix died, he was still there. Yeah. And then there was then the daughter died. He was still there. I don't think he left at that point.
I don't know.
And then it did like the time jump and we was just like he's...
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, I guess he didn't die.
I don't want to watch it again. I also don't want to read about it.
But I don't know. That was a little weird to me that it was just, that's another thing that was just kind of like, okay, where did he go?
Yeah. No, it's good that it came out for streaming because it's definitely a streaming movie, and I would be pissed if I would have actually gone to the cinema and paid $15 for it. But
didn't he leave after the daughter died? I feel like maybe he left after the daughter died.
But if you have not seen Promising Young Woman, and if you liked Saltburn, or if you like the director writer, you should definitely give Promising Young Woman.
Well, honestly, if you didn't like Saltburn, you should try Promising Young Woman.
Yeah,
because
either way, it's a great fucking movie. It deserved the Oscar, and it's way better, in my opinion, than Saltburn. Way better.
I agree.
Okay, that's it.
And if you want something as aesthetically appealing as Saltburn, but totally different genre, watch Call Me By Your Name. It's one of my all-time favorite movies, maybe in my top 3. And it's just
great,
lovely. It's a great movie.
That's it, everybody. Thank you for listening.
Sorry if we pissed you off.
I don't think so. I will give it away in the title. Thanks for listening. Thanks for subscribing. Please subscribe. Liking the podcast, rating the podcast on Apple or Spotify, and you can head over to a Patreon where you can support us actually, which helps us a lot, in maintaining the equipment we have, in actually putting more time and effort into the podcast, and also thanks for Joe for doing that.
Thanks, Joe.
Okay, goodbye.
Watch out for deer.